Hey guys, we are here with the world champion and most prominent and interesting figure in Netrunner at this very moment, Dan D'Argenio. Tell me, Dan, we've talked a little bit. Tell me about your entire tournament experience, starting with yesterday and kind of leading up to this moment right now.
Well, it all started on Friday night. I was in the pool at the Radisson with Greg Nordring, also known as Netrunner, and he was complaining about variance in the game of Netrunner and saying, near the hub, blah, 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 wah, wah, wah. Nobody in this tournament has more than a 5% chance of winning. And I was like, Greg, I'll give myself 10 to 1 odds to win this tournament. And he's like, all right. I'm like, all right, I'll put it in $10. He says, okay. So this makes me, I think, the first person to win a cash prize at a Netrunner tournament, which is an amazing accomplishment. Thanks, FFG, for finally, doing something great for the players. And thanks, Greg. After that, I came to play the tournament and stuff. I felt pretty confident, especially in my corp deck. I thought runner games were going to be a crapshoot, near Earth hub, random accesses, blah, blah, blah. So on the day, RP went undefeated the entire tournament. Very comfortable playing the deck.
How long have you been playing that?
Well, I built the first version of it, I guess when did I build it? A long time ago, before Caprice and Tsurugi came out, I think.
Wow, yeah.
Or maybe it was when Tsurugi came out, but was Caprice in the box? No, it was before.
I think it was before.
I think it might have been right when that happened.
Yeah.
And the deck was okay. I had Ash. It was pretty much the same thing. No pop, no Manu, no Future Perfect. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
I was playing, I think, 3 priority requisition, 1 executive retreat.
There it is.
And then the Niseis and a brain trust.
Yeah.
And that deck was okay, and then I rebuilt it. After I rebuilt it, after Honor and Profit came out, posted the deck list in an article on StimHack, and some of my friends picked it up and played it on Octagon, and they were like, "Dan, this deck's really good." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sure it's fine, whatever." I'm just gonna keep playing I'm just gonna keep playing Making News.
Yeah.
And then as regionals started to approach, it became apparent that the deck was really good. People were telling me to you should play this deck, so I did. It was good.
And it worked.
It does.
What about some of the choices? So when you're coming up in a match against Andromeda, for instance, Criminal, what are you looking to do with Replicating Perfection? What's the game plan there?
All right, well, the start of the game plan is if you can, get some burst economy so you can pay for ice. Because your ice is not cheap. There's a lot of mid-rangey ice, 3, 5, 6. Mm-hmm. There's some cheap ice, but usually you want to just save it for your Sundew, which is secondary. It's the second step. After you burst out some economy, shore up the defenses in the central servers, you want to get drip economy going. That'll take you into the long game. Hopefully the runner can't trash it at all. If you get a quandary in front of it and they don't have a code gate breaker immediately, or if they can't afford it, they're in deep shit. Because you're going to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then, after that, you build a remote server, you throw a Caprice in there, you play an ELP, which was a great addition since regionals, by the way, or an Ash, and then you score it. Hopefully it's a Nisei. If you score a Nisei Mark II, you win the game automatically. It's really impossible to lose after that happens.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you can use the Nisei counter after they fail, or after they win the Caprice side game, which is just you shouldn't ever run a server with Caprice in it once they have that counter, which makes it way too hard to win the game.
Yeah. Talk about that personal evolution game. What was the game plan there
Well, the game plan that I always have against PE, because I played a lot of it since, I think it's one of the most fun corp decks to play, and I think that people need to take it really seriously. It's a very good deck. My plan in general has been run the unadvanced remotes, because House of Knives is really filthy, Gil Hands is really filthy, and they're not very good at scoring agendas. If you're running all the unadvanced remotes, really they have to win by motioning Future Perfects and Fetals and stuff like that. It makes it harder for them to flatline you, harder for them to afford things generally, although I was not playing with Sweep Sweep. Brilliant addition. So that was my game plan. I went in with the plan, I followed the plan. Every unadvanced remote was a trap. Lost my hand. There weren't enough cards in my deck, and I was going to lose that game after that.
Yeah.
So, follow the plan. I don't know. Min, I'm sure, has played plenty of PE versus Andy, and, I'm sure he knows, playing against a good player, he knows how to do it. He knows that I'm going to go after his unadvanced remotes, and, he got me. What am I gonna say? He got me.
What about this final game here with you taking replicating? It was looking kind of grim for you there. He was on 4 points, hit the NAPD.
The only thing grim about that game was that there wasn't very much time in it. That game was a lock no matter what, I think. Like he really the only way he's gonna win that game is if he got enough money to play a Fem, played the Fem, ran R&D, hit a future perfect, and won the side game. He wasn't winning any other way. The game was locked up. I mean, the closing it out there was nice. It relieved some stress. I didn't have to worry about getting the points. But say I got a Nisei there or whatever, it takes a little bit to score it. I have to make sort of sure that I can actually score it. I had an Ash in the remote. It wasn't a Caprice, by the way. So I have to actually have more money than him, which maybe would have been easy if he played the Fem. So I don't know, but he could click through one of the Eli's potentially if he had. I don't know. So maybe I had ELP, maybe he couldn't. I don't remember, but I guess I did. But the point is that I think he had higher strength here. He had a higher seed than I did, so it would put us on 4-4. And then if I just don't draw an agenda fast enough and be able to score it, then I'm in deep shit. I lose the game. So that was really what I was worried about. Glad that the game ended by flatline before that came to that.
Yeah. The last thing I want to ask, man, I always ask players, what is it that you would tell newer or struggling players or mid-range players to amp their game up and get where you are today? What's the number one thing?
There's two things, really, and you need to do both. Play on Octagon, download Octagon, play on it. There's a lot of great players. You'll get in more games faster than any other way, and there's no substitute for playing a lot. And then the other thing is watch videos, because it's a complicated game to play. It's not immediately apparent how to play a certain deck. There's not a lot of not a lot of the strategies are particularly linear, and the ones that are have a lot of nuance to how you go about playing them. And if you want to learn the tricks and stuff like that, you're not gonna necessarily be able to figure them out just running the deck on your own. Watch an experienced pilot, and you'll learn a lot.
Nice, perfect, Dan. Well, hey,
thanks
so much. Cheers, good luck, and congrats.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys. This has been Worlds 2014. Netrunner is concluded now with Dan, our champion, and let the speculation commence. See you guys.